I made the change to come union when I got married, then I had kids, and when the reality set in that the money and the benefits weren't there for my kids.
I worked non-union for 4 years. I joined the union in 1997. Prior to joining the union, I had a decent wage, but I had no type of benefits. I had no retirement to look forward to. I had no health and welfare, any of those things. I had none of them.
Before I joined the Ironworkers local union, I was non-union ironworker for about 4 years, different companies, small and big. My son is still young, but for me to join the union, it just means that I'll be there for him.
I was a non-union iron worker. When I joined the local 5 years ago, they brought me in just like a brother.
I take pride in being an organizer because I was a non-union worker. And someone came out to the job, an organizer, and talked to me and educated me. And here I am.
Our union was formed by organizing workers engaged in the ironworking industry to band together to get better wages, benefits, and safety measures on the job. Nothing has changed in our 120 years. It's still as important today as it was at the formation of our union. It gives us the ability to speak with a louder voice and get the fair pay and compensation we deserve for the people who are working so hard in the field and in the shops.
A union, by definition, is two or more people with like-minded thoughts, vision, or goal or direction. When we have strength in numbers, we can fight whatever adversary is necessary.
One of the things that I tried to instill in my members is the fact that in the 50s, in our heyday, the unions had 87% of the work in the United States and Canada. Do you know how much we have today? It is made full circle. The non-union has 87% of the work today and we have 13%. How do you fix that? You organize, organize, and organize.
When I started as the organizer 2 years ago, I thought the obvious thing would be the kind of wages and the benefits that we make, the money basically. What I found out that really more long-term, what interested the majority of the non-union workers was wanting the respect for what they did in their trade and the stability.
It's always gratifying to see a non-union member that comes into our union and loves it, and he's able to go out and speak to other members or other non-union members saying how wonderful it's been since he's been here and how it's helped him grow as an individual as far as quality and training.
Shouldn't we want those people to have what we have? I know I do.
A lot of our members who served an apprenticeship believe that's the only pathway into our union. And they're fearful that if you take in semi-skilled workers or open shop workers, that they'll have to compete for a job and that their contractors will find somebody more willing or more able than they are. And it's just not true. The more workers we have, the more power we have to bargain and secure better wages and conditions, period.
And the membership as a whole struggled with the fact that I don't want to bring in anybody because you're going to take my job. Well, they already have your job.
So our numbers are going up, our strength is increasing, and basically we've got a lot of people that want to be a part of this thing, excited about being a part of it.
Every member in this organization needs to be engaged in and believe in organizing. It's not just the organizer's job, it's not the elected leaders of the union, it's not the international officials, it's the rank and file members, and it's everyone's responsibility to embrace organizing, because then they understand that we gain power when we control all the workers in the industry, and then we bargain better, we get better wages and conditions, because then the contractors and the construction community have to come to the union. They're the sole source for skilled workers.
In order for us to be successful, we need their assistance or their involvement in rallies. It could be a picket line, it could be also some of the training that we do for the non-union when we bring them in and try to include them or do an invocation of who we are, what we stand for, and have some members come in and speak to them as well.
And so they need to go out there and tell about how much rebar they packed that day or how many pieces they made on a structural job and how proud they are of that. And that spreading of that word and explaining to them that what happens at our union is a good thing, that's one way that they can help us organize.
During lunch time, when we take break and stuff like that, if we're on a non-union job, like this job right here we happen to be on, we're the only union trade out here. So we go around, I talk to a lot of the non-union guys trying to get them to transfer, see, check out their trade. If they're a plumber, if they're a steam fitter, if they're an electrician or whatever the case may be, try to benefit their family.
Who better to talk to a young person than another young person that's gone out and has already seen the benefit? Taking a 3-year, 20-year-old, 22-year-old kid out and having them talk to their peer group is a lot better than just having old gray-haired white guys going out and talking to them that are in the office.
Our apprentices are young. They know what is trending right now. They know what is going to resonate with their age group or any group that they're involved in, really. Example, social media. You can target so many more people at one time with simple social media.
We do job visits. You pass out your card and you tell them to give you a call.
Well, first we identify where the project is, and then we go out to that project and see if we can contact the worker themselves and discuss with the worker what their conditions are, what contractor they're working for, how long they've been there, just all their history of their employment.
What we've been doing is going out talking to workers, finding out how much they make per hour, how much they paying for health insurance, if any, if they offer any health insurance, so we can come up with a better collective bargaining agreement for our jurisdiction here.
We reach out to non-union workers, try to bring them into the local, and not only to the workers, but we're trying to also focus on campaigns to bring the whole company in with the workers. If they're expanding their business, we're able to adjust for them the manpower needs that they may have in the future.
He sort of has a business model in place, and to the extent that you can talk to him and show him how you can affect his bottom line, I think that's the thing that would sway him to sign a contract.
We have to organize contractors. We get the contractors, we have to have people to man those jobs.
We've found that by taking the issues of workers forward and representing them to the community and having the community support the workers is a very strong message to developers, elected officials, and end users when it comes to representing the workers' needs.
We're here supporting these workers that have been on strike since February 27th, 2015. They're all unrepresented. So this morning, I went up with a group of workers up to the 57th floor to meet with Security Properties to inform them about the issues going on with these workers and the lack of support that they're getting. And after talking to them for a few minutes, they agreed to help facilitate a meeting.
They can volunteer and help out to go do house calls and talk to those unorganized members and try to persuade them, make the case for being union.
We visit them one-on-one with their families, and you get to see a different perspective of that worker. And once you sit down with the wife and the children and him and you explain to them who we are, what we stand for, and how much better a quality of life they can have if they come within the ranks of the union, it resonates a little bit different when the wife hears everything that's available.
Gracias a los organizadores, este tipo de información es muy importante para la familia.
When I became general president, I wanted to reinvigorate our union's emphasis on organizing. We've always had an organizing department, and every local's had organizers, but I don't think we shared the true belief that organizing should be at the very core of what we do. We'll be able to train anyone we organize, but if they're not in our union, then what they're doing is they're undermining our ability to negotiate fair wages and collective bargaining agreements on behalf of our membership.
I believe it's important for every iron worker to be union.
We need to grab every working hand out there.
We're a nation of workers, middle-class workers. We need to protect that middle class. And how do you do so? You do it by organizing.
I organize every time I see a non-union company on the job.
Everybody is an organizer. If you want to eat, we need to organize.